putting a lot of pressure on myself. I'm kind of coming out the other side of things now. I also have a mock interview type thing coming up next week. I find it really hard coming back to my life here. I also went to Cambridge last weekend to see my university friends. I have signed up to do the Cambridge Half Marathon, and I am honestly so proud of myself for pushing myself to do this thing that I never even would have dreamed or thought I was capable of doing, and now look at me go. Hello everybody, I hope you're well and welcome back to my channel. I'm just about to start getting ready because I'm about to go out to a friend's birthday birthday party. So I figured I'd just sit down and do a little bit of a rambly, chatty, get ready with me, bit of a life update. Not that there's loads to update on, but I do like just sitting down and chatting with you guys sometimes. Sorry if the lighting's really weird. Like when I'm sitting at this desk doing my makeup, obviously the window is behind me and it is very sunny in London right now, so I've tried to counteract it with this new light that I've got, which is working wonders. It's trying really hard to cancel out this light, but if it looks a bit funny or the shadows change, I'm sorry. Anyway, how am I doing? I am doing not too bad. I have had quite a lot on. I'm kind of coming out the other side of things now. I've been very busy at work and a little bit stressed with a couple of things going on. Like a lot of people are on annual leave at the minute, so I've mostly been manning the fort alone at work, which is a great opportunity to stretch myself and take on added responsibility and prove that I'm capable of like leading and managing on my own. But it is very daunting when it's your first time doing it, and obviously I'm very new to this role, new to this job and this side of my business. If any of you don't know, I moved across from the business side into the technology side as a graduate product manager. Check out my I quit video about leaving my business grad scheme and moving to my tech grad scheme, and check out my day in the life, which I posted recently, if you want to know more about my career in tech. But yes, very new to the job, so to be taking on this level of responsibility so soon is really rewarding, really great, and I very much appreciate that my team trusts me with this level of responsibility. But that comes with the added pressure of not wanting to get things wrong and wanting to prove that they're right to have put their trust in me. So putting a lot of pressure on myself. It's not really coming from them, it's all coming from me. Classic. I have very high standards for myself and I am very nervous about letting people down, but so far so good. That said, I also have a mock interview type thing coming up next week. So because I'm on a graduate scheme, there is like a curriculum of information I need to know before I finish the scheme. And even though I've joined this scheme late because I've kind of transitioned from my business scheme to my tech scheme, so I've only been here 4 months and everyone else has been here about 8 or 9 I think, I still have to sit the mock interview at the end of first year because it's technically the end of first year for everybody else on my scheme, even though I've been here for like 4 months. And I was feeling a little bit stressed about it because I am on the product manager stream of the grad scheme, but there are other streams within the technology grad scheme like cybersecurity and software engineering, and they aren't really my areas of expertise. I am a product manager, I'm not from a technical background, but we are still examined on these other aspects as well, so I need to know all about program management, product management, cybersecurity, infrastructure, software engineering, and it's all a little bit technical, especially for someone from a non-technical background. There are a lot of us on my scheme who don't come from a technical background, like we didn't study computer science at university or know how to code, which you don't need to do in my role. That's what the engineering role is, but you need to have a good enough understanding of what your engineers are talking about in order to do your job well, because you need to be proposing solutions with them and understanding the work they're doing in order to manage stakeholder expectations and manage people and know what is required of you. So that's been a little bit stressful, and they've kind of said to us on my scheme, don't revise, don't prepare for it, go in with the knowledge you already do have, and anything you can't answer on is a good sign of showing like where your gaps are, so make sure to focus on that in second year. But for me, I guess because I've come late to the game, I have this like imposter syndrome and this worry that I'm further behind everybody else. So I've done a little bit of preparation, nothing crazy, but that's been getting me a little bit stressed as well. So that's kind of how I am with work, but that'll be done by Wednesday next week. I think I'm literally the last person on the scheme to sit it. I think they put me last so I could have a little bit more time to prepare, given that I haven't had as much time to learn the content as everybody else. But I'm feeling okay about it. Like, what will be will be. I look very pasty in this light. I'm not this pale in real life, it's just I've got this big light on and then the light behind me, and I'm wearing a white dress and I just look super washed out. But I promise I've got more of a tan from my holiday than this. That's the other thing, just got back from my holiday. I hope you enjoyed my cruise vlogs. And maybe that's part of why I'm a little bit stressed, because I just had such a relaxing 2 weeks off and came back to like chaos and hustle and bustle. But I hope you enjoyed coming on holiday with me. I think that has kind of contributed to my stress and my like low mood since coming back, because I obviously had 2 lovely weeks with my family who I don't get to see all that often, and it was so nice. So coming back to reality, it was a bit of a hard calm down but I'm getting back into the swing of it now. But to counteract that feeling I've been having, which is weird, I'm actually coming out the other side of it now, but to counteract it, I booked a trip home next weekend, because it is a bank holiday in the UK. So I actually booked the Friday off work to give me a little bit of extra time. Booked the Friday off, so I'm gonna have like a long 4-day weekend, which will be lovely, and traveling back to Newcastle to see my parents, which I'm very excited about. Much needed, I think, because I don't know, I find it really hard coming back to my life here after having spent time with them there, and realising like how distinct I am from my family now, and how my life kind of is here and they're up there, and I don't get to see them as much as I'd like to. And I'm trying to be really realistic with myself and know that like if I do want to see them, then they are just a train away, and I can do that quite easily, and I shouldn't let money or time or distance be an obstacle, because the situation isn't ideal. Like, it is a 3-hour train, it is expensive, but it's not impossible, and if I need that, then I need that. And I kind of came to the realisation that I need that. So after I've done my test interview next week, after I've gotten a couple of big projects out of the way at work, I just figured, go enjoy the bank holiday, go be at home with your family. So that is something to look forward to. I will also be seeing my best friend Anastasia, who some of you guys will recognise from some vlogs I did when she visited me in London, and I did do a like meet my best friend style video, so you'll recognise her, and I'm really excited to see her again. Got some of my favourite things planned when I go home, like some nice walks, and potentially going to my favourite bakery, which I like to visit every time I go home because it's so nice, and I've never had cakes like it. They do these giant pieces of cake, and I love carrot cake, that's my favourite, but they do some really interesting ones, so I do love to go there every time I go home and just relax and recharge my batteries. It'll be nice to be out of the hustle and bustle of London and into the calm countryside, where I can just soak up the fresh air and be away from the stress and fast-pacedness of London and graduate life. In other news, I also went to Cambridge last weekend to see my university friends, which was super lovely. Like, I've missed those guys so much. I really miss living in a big house with them. That's one thing that I wish I'd kind of like appreciated more as a uni student, I guess. Like, the mundane bits where you're like cooking in the kitchen together, or like sat in each other's rooms just studying and not really like actually doing anything. Like, we weren't playing ball games or having a party or whatever, but just like the mundane moments where you're together. I really miss that, and that's one thing I miss now that I don't live with them. I'm like, oh, they were the golden years. It was really great just living with friends. I mean, I live with friends now, but I miss living in a big group house. There were like 10 of us in that house, and it was lovely. But it was very nice going back to Cambridge and kind of like getting that experience back again. That's also a place I tend to go to recharge my batteries, because it's so familiar and comfortable to me, going on nice walks through the fens and the greens and through the colleges, and just all of my favourite nostalgic spots is a really nice way to boost my mood as well, so that helped. And speaking of Cambridge, I have signed up to do the Cambridge Half Marathon in 2024. Bit of a rogue one from me, but some of you guys will remember from my New Year's resolution video that I wanted to get back into more like gentle exercise and moving my body in a way that I love, and for some reason this year I've discovered I really love running. I used to hate it because it was kind of something I forced myself to do, but then this year it's kind of evolved into like something I do to de-stress, clear my head, just move my body if I've been sat at my desk all day or working from home and haven't left the house. And as soon as I stopped seeing it as something I had to do, or a distance I had to make, or a speed I had to get to, and just seeing it as move your body for as long as you want to and then stop, that's when I really started loving running. and now I'm running like half marathon distances, which is kind of crazy. Like, I managed to do my first half marathon a couple of weeks ago, like the full distance, not in like an official race, just on a daily run, and then I shaved off 15 minutes from my time and ran another one this week. I managed to hit 2 hours 5 minutes, which is insane. If you told me at the start of this year I'd be running these kind of distances, I'd be like, no, I'm not a sports girly. But it honestly was such a mindset shift in me to be like, you are, and you can do this. And for me, the thing that was holding me back from running was literally my mind. It's not that I wasn't physically capable, it's that I kept being like, I'm not a runner, I'm not sporty, I was never sporty at school. And I promise you, as soon as you start telling yourself, I can do this, and speaking to yourself in a positive way, you will unlock so much more potential in yourself. And I know that sounds very sort of fluffy thing to say, but it is true. And I am honestly so proud of myself for pushing myself to do this thing that I never even would have dreamed or thought I was capable of doing, and now look at me go. And my friend at work was like, Emma, do the Cambridge Half Marathon. He was like, it's your university city, you know the route really well, you can do the distance already, so I don't, like, there's no point in saying, oh, I'd never be able to run a half marathon. You know you can, you're doing it on your daily runs, you can do that distance, and at a good speed as well. I mean, for myself, obviously that's very subjective, everyone has a different good speed, but personally I'm very happy with my progress and how I'm running at the minute. And he was like, you know it, your friends will come and cheer you on, it'll be past all of your favourite sites, it'll be nostalgic, and Cambridge is the flattest city in the country, so he was like, it's a great first half marathon to do because it's not going to be too strenuous, it's not going to be filled with hills. And now normally I would talk myself out of something like this and give myself a million reasons not to, like, what if I get injured, or what if the pressure's too much and people expect me to do XYZ pace or distance, or I can't stop and I've got to do it to the best of my ability, and what, like, just so many what ifs, and try and convince myself out of things that I'm scared of. And I just didn't give myself the time to do that, I didn't allow myself to do that. So then when the entries opened, my friend was like, book your place now, like, pay for your ticket. And I was like, panic, and I just kind of did it, pressed the button and was like, oh my goodness, like, I've entered into this now. I was planning on talking myself out of doing it, and I didn't think I'd put my money where my mouth is, quite literally, and do it. And because I didn't give myself the time or energy to talk myself out of it, and I have been speaking to myself so positively, I just did it. And as terrified as I am, I'm also very excited and very proud of myself for doing that, because it's very big for me. I feel the pressure, but obviously that's only coming from me. So I just need to relax, keep doing what I'm doing, because I don't need to change anything. Like, what I'm doing right now, my exercise routine is working for me. So stay tuned for Cambridge 2024. I'm really excited to run my first half marathon, but don't be expecting anything. Don't be expecting a certain time. Don't add to the pressure I'm already putting on myself. It's just, I'm trying to tell myself, it'll be for charity, it'll be for fun. I'm running with a group of people from work, and we're running under my work name as a group to raise money for cancer research. So that's really exciting and really rewarding. So stay tuned. But other than that, there isn't really much going on. What have I touched on? My holiday, my job, my half marathon. Like, my life is just ticking along. Like, I'm just kind of vibing with what life is throwing at me at the minute. And I guess that's just what life is, just taking each day as it comes and not overthinking things too much. I'm very happy where I am in my career right now. I'm very happy with my friends, my social life. Everything just seems to be going quite well, touch wood, and in the most sort of stable way. It's just bobbing along, and that's what we like. We like stability. I just feel like it makes such a huge difference from where I was maybe a year or two ago, where I just finished university. Well, that was 3 years ago. Didn't know what I was doing with my career, my life. I started on the business grad scheme, and then I realised that wasn't really for me, and I've switched. And that was such a period of uncertainty for me, and I found that really stressful, because I like to know what I'm doing, I like what my goals are, and I like to work towards them. And it kind of finally feels like I'm starting to find my feet and figure it out. I'm happy with where I'm living in London. I'm happy with where I am at this life stage, and I think as soon as I stopped comparing myself, that's when I started feeling a lot better about things. I think I was letting the pressure get to me a little bit when I was looking at other people in my grad scheme and being like, you've already rolled off the scheme, or you already know which part of the business you want to be in, you already know what job you want to do. And I was getting really panicked, and then when I moved to tech, I was like, that's adding a whole other year longer onto my grad scheme experience, and you know, he's fresh out of university and he's not done that, or she's rolled off early or whatever. And I think as soon as I stopped looking at what other people were doing and just focused on what was right for me, I realised, like, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and you know, there's no point in comparing yourself. We're all going at our own paces and we're all doing what's right for us. And realistically, I think when I first switched across from business to tech, I was like, oh, is this a backward step for me, like adding this extra year on? But I'm like, no, this is taking me forwards in the direction of a career I really want to have. So adding an extra year onto the grad scheme in the grand scheme of things is not holding me back, it's propelling me forwards. So I guess that's just reassurance for anybody who, I don't know, is either in the working world or is going through a lot of change right now, or is just about to leave university and is a bit worried or uncertain about what the future holds. Like, just take it each day at a time. Things will change all the time. Things are always up in the air. And I mean, I know it's a cliche, but when people say it's about the journey, not the destination, that's one thing I've really learned in my early 20s in particular. I always was a goal-oriented person, especially I think having studied at Cambridge, it was always trying to get that grade, trying to get to the next milestone. And now I've realised the goalposts shift all the time and the milestones change, and some milestones you'll meet, some of them will look different when you get there, some of them you'll get rid of completely, and that's fine too. Gosh, I didn't think this was going to turn into a deep life chat, advice, what Emma's learned in her 20s chat, but here we are. I guess that they're just some of the things I wish I'd known or someone had said to me when I got here, because it's been a really steep learning curve. I think for the first time in my life, like, not knowing what I'm doing. I think when you're at school, you know roughly what A-levels you want to take, you know roughly what university and course you want to do, and then you get to the end of it and it's like, now what? But I think I'm doing an alright job. We're all doing an alright job. We're all just muddling along, and that's all you can ask of yourself. Now, I actually think I've kind of come to the end of all the things I wanted to tell you about, and I haven't finished doing my makeup yet because I've been so distracted with chatting. But it has been good, I guess, to get it off my chest. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me ramble on. It's very rare that I run out of things to say. I guess that is because life's just kind of stabilised, as I've said. But no doubt there will be more challenges around the next corner, because I've only got one more year left on my grad scheme, and who knows what I'm doing after this. But I guess I don't need to know right now. This is the early, fun, exploratory phase, and I'm just going to enjoy it while I can. And enjoy learning, that's one thing. I said I got to the end of my updates, but here we are, still talking. I'm really enjoying the learning aspect again. I think that's what I missed when I first came to the working world. It felt like I was learning a little bit, but not the amount I wanted to, but because I'm in this whole new industry and sector, it feels like there's a really steep learning curve and so much more to know, and I'm really enjoying that aspect of it feeling like I'm studying again, learning new things, learning about software engineering and tech and different things about coding and back-end systems and front-end systems and infrastructure diagrams, and I really miss that feeling of continuous learning and self-development. And I think everyone, well, most people probably need that to feel stimulated and stretched in their lives. So I feel like a lot more fulfilled in my job now, which is nice, because I feel like it fits my working style, it fits what I'm looking for in a career, something that's always challenging me and pushing me, somewhere I can always learn and grow. And yeah, I'm very, very happy at the moment. I say that, I also don't want you to think it's all rosy, because I did say at the start of the video I've had a really stressful few weeks, and I mean that. I have been quite stressed with things, and that's why I'm going home. But you're kind of getting me now when I'm coming out on the other side of it, and that's, I mean, I wasn't really vlogging since I came back from a holiday, because I was sharing my holiday vlog, so I actually didn't really capture the whole, like, not having a lot of social plans and feeling quite on the bottom. But I don't want you to think my life is also rosy and idyllic, because social media is just a snapshot of our lives, and you don't see what's going on behind the scenes all the time. Like, it is my highlight reel. So I do try and be realistic with you all and tell you that this isn't constantly my life. There are ups, there are downs, and everything in between. But we move, and that's what learning and growing and loving and lifing is all about. I hope you've enjoyed this ramble. I'm gonna go finish doing my hair, finish off the last bits of my makeup now, and then head out and buy my friend a cake from a local bakery for her birthday. It's been really nice just rambling on and getting things off my chest. I know it was a bit incoherent and all over the place, and I kind of jumped from topic to topic, but I hope you've enjoyed it anyway, and I hope you're all doing really well. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're up to, any life updates you have. I love to hear about them. Thanks for watching, as ever, everybody. Goodbye.